Hello, everybody. We're live. We're back to our community news for Thursday, February 16th. So thank you for coming and joining once again. I want to introduce you guys to Marc. Marc is a great friend of mine. We've known each other for, oh gosh, would you say like 6-7 years, Marc?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, like we've just been a part of a separate avenue doing personal development work. And you just recently took some courses with us in the fall. So Marc, let's get started. What inspired you to be here today with us?
What inspired me? I kind of feel like it's paying it forward and paying it back. There's been a lot of people involved in my life for decades who have poured into me, who've contributed, who've helped, who've mentored, who've coached. And I'm grateful for that. And I remember what it was like to not have that, to not have any resources, to not have any, anyone helping you. So if this can help someone else, if this can help anyone on their path to a better life, amen. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Marc, just so everyone knows, as well as you and I, like, when did you take your courses?
PB1 I took in October of last year, so relatively recent. And this was after, quite honestly, I didn't think it would be worth my time, but I had a friend, my best friend, who I respected greatly. She had been going on and on about these courses for like 5 years. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine, I'll take it. And came in skeptical. And it blew me away. And that was October. And then I was so blown away that when you guys said, oh, there's the next step, the next stage is in November, I'm like, sign me up. So that was the timing, October and November.
Yeah, cool. So you just did it this fall.
Yeah, recent, fresh.
Cool. Yeah. So since things are like somewhat fresh with you, what would you say was your favorite concepts that you learned in your level 1 and level 2?
The ones that stand out the most are the win-win concept that I learned in PB1, I think it was. That was one of them, because there's a couple. There was a lot of favorites, right? My mind was blown every single day with something new, but the ones that anchored the most, that I can remember the most now, are win-win from PB1. The best friend I mentioned, she'd been exhibiting that for years at work. We're coworkers. And then I finally figured out what makes her so good. And I'm like, oh, it's a secret. Excellent. Okay. This is where she got it from. Fantastic. So now I'm replicating that. But in PB2, actually, I think it was also in PB1, there was the resistance model. Because I'm one of those people that think a lot. And my brain is always spinning and my thoughts are always spinning. And I'm always trying to figure things out, right? And when I saw that model, I realized why sometimes I spiral into a brick wall and how I can now choose a different direction mentally and emotionally. So, because that's exhausting, right? And so when I saw that resistance model, I'm like, eureka, some more secret knowledge I never knew before. And I'm like, thank God. Okay, so things make sense now more. And now I can, help my thoughts go in a more positive, empowering direction. So those were the ones that stood out.
That's so cool. And anybody watching, if you guys don't know what the resistance cycle that Marc was referring to, that's actually what I'm talking about next. So like really good segue. Thanks, Marc.
My pleasure.
Cool. Awesome. Next question. How would you describe yourself prior to taking your level 1?
Skeptical, but still a seeker. The context here is I'd spent at least $50,000 on personal development workshops, courses. I've worked with some of the biggest names in the industry. And because I paid a lot. It's not like I'm special, like you sign up and they'll take you, right? But I spent so much and invested so much. And so I thought I'd probably seen it all. And that this course was regurgitated material that I'd already seen. But like I said, my friend was so insistent and so impressive at modeling the things she'd learned. And I'm like, that's different. I got to learn about that. Yeah. And that's what happened. It just it exceeded my expectations at every turn.
Cool. How would you describe your experience of yourself after then taking the level 2?
Yeah, I started as a seeker, but afterwards I realized that I got more than what I was looking for, and much more profound stuff. Because I've been seeking the superficial stuff. But what you get, especially out of PB2, is like, I couldn't have expected it going so deeply and so profoundly. And now my life is different. I see myself differently as, you know, a person. I feel more secure. I feel more comfortable in my own skin, especially in social interactions. You know, like I'm a little bit more on the introverted side. And I thought, let's use the word defective or insecure or not comfortable. We can call it social anxiety. We can put whatever label you want. But after that, after PB2, it's like, no, man, whatever, bring it on. It's all good. There's been some like profound shift. I don't know how to explain it, but it's been very, very cool.
That's awesome. What I really love about that, Mark, and what I love about being able to interview you today is that so far my previous interviews have been people who really took the courses like could be up to 10 years earlier. And they were able to describe the changes that they've noticed as the years went on.
Right.
And what I love about hearing from you is that that change does start and can start for a lot of people right away. And, you know, with the others is it did start right away, but their most current experiences is these more like 10 years down the road evolved humans, is which they spoke on. So I love hearing from your perspective for sure. So
yeah. It's
so
like,
Mark,
I got to say, one person walked into those courses and a totally different person walked out. And it was like mind blowing. Yeah.
cool. So Mark, we have you currently signed up for the level 3. So the level 1, 2, 3 is what we're referring to. We do refer to as the core program. So you're still doing the third part of your core program. So you've had such great shifts. What enticed you to say yes to level 3?
Well, that was the easiest part, the biggest no-brainer in this whole deal. The hardest part was getting me to the first one because I had that skepticism. I put so much money and I thought, what could I possibly learn new? But that blew my mind. I came in expecting this much and I got this much. And then PB2 was the same. It was more like, I don't even know what I'm going to expect there. And that just blew my mind open and my life open. So when you guys said, hey, there's another step, it'd be like, hey, I like chocolate chip cookies. You've given me 2 chocolate chip cookies. I get a third one. Heck yeah. So it's just like, just tell me where and when, and I'm there. So that was
That's so cool. I'm so excited for level 3. Like I love all of the levels. There's some very unique things that I especially love about the level 3 too. So I'm super excited about that for you. So Mark, one last question. If you knew somebody, or if there's someone out there listening who's like on the fence, they don't know if they should, they don't know if it's the right timing, they don't know if they can afford it, like what would you say to them sitting on the fence?
The short answer is move heaven and earth to get there. And I know I've heard that from other people that coached and guided and mentored me. And I was like, well, you're incented, you know, like maybe you're the one putting the course on. This is not from an incentive perspective. This is from, I sought a better life. I was a seeker for a better life. And I got way more than I could have possibly expected out of PB1 and PB2. And so if someone is on the fence, I would say, you got to do it for yourself, because there's no one better to invest in, or there's nothing better to invest in than yourself, because you take yourself wherever you go. I used to be full of anxiety and depression, and life was rough because no matter what circumstances I was in, no matter where I was at, I'd be in some exotic location, I'd still feel miserable on the inside. But that's different now after, you know, PB1 and PB2. So I'm like, dude, that was worth whatever price you could put on it. And I'll forever be thankful that I took my friend's advice and said, yeah, you know what? You're impressive. You say this is what helped you. I'm going to follow your lead, even though, like I said, I was pretty skeptical. So I would say it'll be worth it. Come and get some. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. You know, like when you kind of reminded me of something, Mark, that I definitely want to mention is before I took a lot of the personal development that I did, is I always thought like, oh my gosh, like I can't leave my son, like he's going to be away on the weekends. At this time, I was like a single parent. And you know, someone said to me is that you have to give yourself permission to look after yourself. And there's a reason why when you're on an airplane, they say if the oxygen masks fall, you put yours on first and then you assist the other person. And for me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I can't be in full service at half capacity with the
Yeah.
way I am right now. And so it was mine, like, this is how I can get myself in full service for my career, for my family, for every part of my life, is for me to invest in myself. And that was super profound for me. So you reminded me of that. So thank you, Mark.
Can I give you a gift right back?
Yeah.
You know that I'm friends with your daughter, Kiara, right?
Yes.
We did
Yes.
PB2 together, PB1 together.
Yeah.
One of the most profound things she shared with me is that you're a better mom because you've gone through this. And so you can be a better mom to her. So
Yeah.
the fact that you took time for yourself doesn't end with you just being improved. It means you're a better person for them. And so their lives get improved too. And I was like, dang, for a teenager to say that about her parent, let alone a daughter to say about mom, there's typically a lot of tension there. I was like, well, that's really impressive. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow,
kudos.
thank you. That was like, that really touched me. That was emotional for me because I love even the results that I've seen in my daughter since taking the courses. Like,
Yeah.
I've shared on these lives before that she's like, has said to me, you know, I've heard you speak all of these things that Jay said, Jay facilitated in the fall, that Jay said, but it wasn't until I did the course and experienced it myself that the pieces fell into place for me and I actually understood it. And, you know, that was one of my true inspirations to buying this program and moving forward with this program, because I can talk right now till I'm, you know, blue in the face, so they say, but if I don't have the proper platform, I can't effectively support, right? And so I'm really grateful, honored in the position that I'm in right now to be able to deliver these courses and continue to support people coming through. So.
And about that, can we talk about me going through signing up for PB1 again later?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
to re-audit it. Yes, definitely. Yeah. We will.
I want to do it again. Yeah, it was so good.
That sounds good, Mark. Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to say goodbye to Mark. And as promised, I do have probably 5-10 minutes on the resistance cycle, just to kind of show you guys that for those who are working on the workbook. So before we get there, thanks for joining us so much, Mark. I really enjoyed this chat today, and really for you to be able to share your story and just for us to connect. So thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Take
Cool.
care.